the government is actually frightened of us. That's why they literally had to go to 1952 to find an excuse for my deportation.
Once you were arrested, did you feel that at least now Columbia University would speak up? And second quick question is, at any point in time in your detention, did you even briefly consider giving up the legal case and possibly leaving the country?
That was a very long question. I'm repeating it so that the crowd can hear, just so people understand. So the question was, Columbia refused to file anything in the case, and unlike Tufts, which did file in the case of Rumeysa, so how did you feel about that? And was there ever a moment when you felt like giving up the case and just leaving the country?
As I've mentioned, since I joined Columbia in early 2023, I knew that this university is anti-Palestinian, that they wouldn't actually do this. Maybe if there is a financial gain for them from doing that, they would have done it. I'm certain, because this is what Columbia cares about. They care about their money. And I don't remember a time where I considered giving up, because from the moment I got arrested, I knew that my case is righteous. I'm righteous. My speech should be celebrated, not punished. And this is what I will continue to do.
The question is, what's your message to student protesters who might be fearful based on what happened to you?
We will win. I believe that we will win. And I believe that we will win. Students across the country have always led us toward what's right. They were our moral compass. This happened during the Vietnam War, during apartheid South Africa, during fossil fuels demonstrations, and it's happening now. That's why this administration is so worried that they're literally doing everything in their power to suppress us, because we are winning. We are literally winning, and this is just the beginning of the end, of the US complicity in the genocide in Gaza, the US unconditional support to the genocidal state of Israel, and to Colombia's complicity in Israel crimes.
Wait, sorry. Go ahead.
What's your response or take on the Secretary of State's determination and does all of this change how you go about either your life and on your activities?
So he's asking about Mahmoud's take on the Foreign Secretary's comments on Mahmoud being a foreign threat to the country, and then how has this changed his life? How has this experience changed his life?
Well, the allegation is that my speech allegation are undermining the US foreign policy of combating anti-Semitism. Well, first of all, Israel is the top foreign policy threat to the United States. Second, it's ironic that this is coming from a person, Marco Rubio, who regularly meets with neo-Nazis, who in fact endorses right-wing parties in Europe. Germany's AfD, the most extreme neo-Nazi party in Europe. And what's actually threatening the interest of anti-Semitism, of combating anti-Semitism, is the unconditional support to a country that's waging a genocide in the name of the Jewish people. Of course, the Palestine movement is diverse. There's no place for any kind of hatred, whether it is anti-Blackness, anti-Semitism, or any sort of hate. And we made that clear. The fact that the administration it has been over 100 days, there isn't any shred of evidence that what I did or said is wrong, whether it's First Amendment or not. There's no shred of evidence about that. And that alone should suffice. Your second question? I mean, this absolutely impacted my life in so many ways. I did not opt to be in this position. And I absolutely don't want to be the face of the student movement, because there are much more students who are much braver than me. But here I am. I will definitely take that with pride. I would continue to advocate for Palestinian rights, no matter what.
Sorry, yeah, one more question. One more question. That's a great question. So the question is, can you tell us what your daily life was like in the detention center? Wow, that's a lot of police. The question is, can you tell us? We have one more question. If you guys can hang on one sec. What was your daily life like in the detention center? And what were the conditions like for everybody else in the center? Okay, and then this is the last question. And just so you know, there aren't going to be any one-on-ones after this. Now, after that, we'll transition to something else.
That's a great question. And, you know, I share a dorm, or I shared a dorm with over 70 men. Absolutely no privacy, lights on all the time. I spend my days like listening to one tragic story after another, listening to a father of 4 whose wife is battling cancer and he's in detention. I listened to a story of an individual who have been in the United States for over 20 years. All his children are American, yet he's deported. It's so normal in detention to see men cry because they can't understand why they are there. They know they don't have documents, but does this actually mean that they should be detained? What's happening behind ICE detention gates is horrendous. It's a stain on the US Constitution. It's a stain on the US consciousness, because I fear that in a couple of decades, we would look back at what's happening now and regret that. but it's actually taking toll on real people's life, unfortunately. But as I will continue fight for Palestine, I will continue fight for their rights as well.
Okay. Thank you all. This is the official end of the press portion of this program. Press is free to disperse. The press conference is over, and I'm going to be passing the mic to the Palestine Youth Movement, who will lead us into chanting and let everyone know what will be up next. Press is free to disperse now. Thank you.